Okay, guys, so for today's video, we're going to be having a little prepper talk discussion, essentially covering the uncomfortable truths involving who will you be and who will people around you turn into post SHTF and without rule of law. If that sounds interesting and you guys want more videos, more content like this on the channel, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this. But let's get into it. What we mean by who will you be post SHTF is, have you guys considered your morality, your baseline of morality, and your moral compass? Who do you plan to be? Who do you plan to help out if such situations, such scenarios ever do take place, right? Some of your family members and friends are not of the same mentality of you. They're not like-minded and aren't going to be on the same page if such scenarios do happen. I know some of you guys are already aware of this, but make sure you guys are war gaming this in your head and actually considering the reality of such situation. If something does happen, most likely you're going to have a lot of people around you, especially if you're in a city, that are going to be a liability to your situation. God forbid something like that ever does take place, because people just don't want to really team up and create a community for the most part. If you do have a community of people, of like-minded individuals that could actually help each other and assist, be a mutual assistance group, a MAG, then I'd highly recommend that. That's a very valuable thing and it's a blessing to have, but not everybody's so fortunate. And even in that case, you're still going to have people who may try to be the downfall of your MAG, your mutual assistance group, or people outside of your mutual assistance group that see what you have going on and are not happy about it. They may basically want to sabotage you or cause problems from within, whatever it may be. You guys have to really consider and war game this in your head. The people around you, what is their morality compared to yours? Do they even have a general good baseline of morality or any proper moral compass? Usually if a situation like SHTF or some type of without rule of law situation was to ever happen, everybody's going to become a worser version of themselves already. So however a person already is, however their character is already performing in today's world during good, abundant conditions, they're usually going to become a far worse person in that scenario. And it's just going to triple of the horrible side that they already have showing in today's world, right? And that whole conversation goes back to having integrity within your community. Have you guys been vetting the people who are joining, who are already within your community? Do you guys really know who they are? Are you getting to know them personally and trying to find out things about their personal personality, their personal life as much as you can? Not trying to so much investigate them in a way, but almost kind of investigate them in a healthy manner to get to know them and know, are they a threat? Is this person a potential liability? Can I trust this person to have my back? Watch my six, right? A lot of people you don't want to trust for that, to even have that opportunity, even if they seem like they're a good person in today's world. They may just be somebody who's going to crack under pressure, and you can't trust them based off of they don't have the mental capacity to handle such situations, right? So some people, everybody has their own different designations, but you guys really want to, what I'm touching on here is make sure you have some type of integrity within your community. Make sure you are vetting your brothers and sisters, whoever it is within the community. Make sure these people are being tested physically for certain tasks. If they're expected to do something that's physically strenuous, make sure you're testing them. Take them on ruck marches. Put some weight in their pack. Take them on long-range shooting events. Really push them to their limits. Teach them radio operations. See how much they're willing to learn and push themselves as well. If they're not willing to put in the effort and push themselves physically, mentally, within every aspect of preparedness, being a valuable asset to the community and the mutual assistance group, essentially, then someone like that isn't good for your MAG or your community. They're going to be a liability and they're just going to be a hindrance. The most you could do for somebody like that, if it's a family member, is have an emergency bucket to give them and tell them to go on about their day, because that's the best you can do and that's the best they can hope for. If they stay with you for too long, they're just going to become a threat because they don't know how to operate within a community that you've been running, essentially. Have integrity. Make sure you're vetting your brothers. This one's pretty simple. Goes back to this whole subject and discussing knowing who you are post SHTF, who are you going to be and people around you, but it's knowing what's right. Are all of you guys on the same page on what you're supposed to do if such situation take place, certain scenarios? What is the action that needs to be taken? Are you guys all on the same page of such scenarios? What action needs to be taken if we're in a certain scenario? What is the next step, right? You guys need to war game these with your people and make sure that you guys are on the same page and are working with actual like-minded individuals or people that could be level-headed and actually take some type of leadership. You know, there's a lot of people out there who say they know right from wrong or common sense, but they may do something that's kind of idiotic and get a whole team of people killed, right? So it's really It's really important to keep learning yourself, keep trying to expand your knowledge, and not just about what's knowing right and wrong, but knowing how to make the proper decisions at certain times, right? But then going back to knowing what's right and wrong. Are there any people in your group or around you, family members, friends, people within your community, even if they're not part of your first mutual assistance group community, people within your neighborhood, your neighbors, are any of those people, do they give off any type of energy where they seem like they would be the marauder type, or somebody who you may not be able to trust, where they're just going to be asking for supplies and basically a hindrance? A lot of times that's going to be the case, but what I'm really telling you to watch out for is the types that look like they're going to be a potential problem. And more than less, it's going to be your family members and close friends who could be this potential problem, because they may know what you have, or they have some type of emotional connection to you. So it gives them some type of in to try to negotiate things versus a random person or a distant neighbor that you haven't really talked to much, right? So you guys need to really consider these and really war game this in your head. Once again, like I'm reiterating this, you guys may have people in your family or close friends that their whole plan after a without rule of law SHTF situation is to become a marauder and take from others. You guys need to calculate that, evaluate these people, even if you're not full on just bluntly questioning them. Evaluate them, assess them, analyze, try to figure out who they are just by watching, listening, and reading their character, essentially. It's a really valuable skill, and it's a good thing to do. I've naturally just been doing this since a child because of who I am and the way I look at people as a whole. So I'm always analyzing. Every time I meet somebody new, I start to investigate them and analyze them based off of their body language and how they act around me and things like that. And it gives me a lot of signals on how to act around that person or how to handle them, right? So sometimes it's not correct. Sometimes it's correct a lot of the time. So yeah, just have some good forethought about people that you associate with and how they may act after such scenario has taken place. And to retouch on the werewolf preppers, marauder types, people that think like that or have made certain comments like that to you that you may know, or maybe close friends or family members, whatever it may be, make sure you take a mental note of those people. And I would say take a mental note of them as high risk people, because most of the time, if they're talking about being a marauder, somebody who's trying to go raid and take from others, rob and pillage, those are the type of people that will come and do it to you. And you're probably on their first target list if they're already talking about it to you. Little do you know. I mean, they already know it. They're just telling you. They're kind of giving you a hint by letting you know that. So you need to take that hint, put them on a list, have a mental note of who they are, and have them in a high risk list of people that are not to trust, essentially. Because anybody who ever mentions something like, oh, we're just going to take, I'm going to go get from people, I'm not going to put all the effort into doing this, they're instantly a potential enemy of mine, in my eyes. They don't got to be an enemy now because we're living in good, abundant conditions. And in regular times, all of this is just wargaming, right? But if it ever becomes reality, if this isn't wargaming and this is something that's actually real, those people are going to be a very high risk, a big threat to your existence. And you guys need to keep an eye out for them and make sure you have a way to manage that risk, right? So it's just a conversation that I wanted to throw out there, something I thought is useful to talk about. I've seen a lot of other preppers, gun tubers, people within the community in my platform and stuff of what I talk about cover this subject. So I wanted to throw my own spin on it, inform more of you guys about people around you and their morality, werewolf preppers, people who may be out to use you and seek to harm you after a certain event does take place and take what's not theirs. So make sure you guys are being informed. Make sure you guys are aware of that. Just make sure you guys are aware. Make sure you guys have defensive capabilities. Make sure you guys are training up, and make sure you guys are practicing your physical fitness. It's very important in any SHTF scenario and even daily life to be physically fit and have good physical health. So yeah, that's always a message I like to draw on for you guys. I think it's very important to reiterate. Be physically fit, have good physical health, and take care of your body. And that's one of the most important things about preparedness. But that's essentially what I got for today's video, guys. Assessing and covering high-risk people, discussing the uncomfortable truths of preparedness and how some of your friends and close family may turn into marauders or maybe secret werewolf preppers in hiding, right? So just something to consider. If you guys went on to enjoy today's video, make sure to leave a like, comment down below what you think. If you have any ideas to add or discussions to give off in the community. And yeah, I'll have more videos like this coming out later on this week or later on the month, and more shorts coming out. And this is FP out.